Right, let's now talk to Panagiotis Sotiris, a sociologist lecturer from the University of Athens. Good to see you there, sir. Now, a lot of protesters came out in Greece today despite the ban. Has this ban been counterproductive?
Well, this ban simply fueled anger in the streets because even the rhetoric of the police announcement was reminding people of the times of the military dictatorship from 1967 to 1974, this complete ban on any form of gathering around half the center of Athens. So people were really angry, and they also see there's also a lot of anger against Mrs. Merkel, who is being seen as a representative of a certain form of economic aggression against Greece. We are in the 5th year of recession. We are in the 3rd year of austerity measures. They are asking us for even harder austerity measures. This a 13 billion cuts, mainly in what concerns wages and pensions. So people were really angry. And I think that what happened today in Athens, these demonstrations we witnessed, was just something like a message from that they're going to see much more protest and anger in Greece. And you have to also take into consideration that the Greek government has yet to announce the measures. That is, the actual measures, the actual package, the actual cuts have not yet been announced. They are going to announce it in the next days, and they will have to put them through Parliament. And this is also going to be days of protest, days of strikes. And I think that the situation is not very stable, despite all this attempt, even by Mrs. Merkel, to show some form of support to Prime Minister Samaras. In reality, the Greek government is not so stable, since it is sitting on top of a huge social crisis, a huge social crisis that can easily turn into political crisis.
Right. Angela Merkel came to Athens in a show of solidarity. A word spoken a lot today. But can the people of Greece expect any concessions from her?
Well, I think that's exactly the point. Words were spoken, nothing else. That's the point. In what concerns the demands from the part of the European Union and the Troika, and of course the German government included, they remain the same. You have to go through with the cuts. You have to go through with reforms that liberalize labor market, or privatize practically everything, or sell public property. So there's nothing actual, nothing tangible in what Mrs. Merkel just brought some form of communicative, of media support from Mr. Samaras, but nothing more. For Greek people, nothing changes. We are still going to have to go through the cuts, and this is the problem. This is what causes all this protests. And no one thought that, okay, Mrs. Merkel comes here, so things are going to be better. People are totally aware that they will have to go through all these measures, and this is the problem.
Mr. Sotiris, Prime Minister Samaras is finding himself cornered here. I mean, he faces pressure to cut more from Brussels and Berlin, while his own people are enraged by this austerity. How long can the Greek leadership continue with that balancing act?
I don't think they can continue it anymore. I don't think that this government has a lot of life ahead of it. I think this is an unstable government. One way or another, whether it manages to pass the austerity package or not, it's an unstable government that is going also to face political crisis pretty soon. I don't think they're going to make it with this balancing act, because in the end what matters is that if a government is truly legitimized, if it actually has some form of popular support, and they are running out of it.
We'll leave it right there. Thank you very much, Mr. Panagiotis Sotiris from the University of Athens, sociology lecturer. They're speaking to us on the Greek crisis.